Welcome to your doom. Shut it and get over here. Massive uppercut!
Hello and welcome to another edition of the JabJab Show. Today I'm reviewing Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition. It's a Blu Ray and everything. Okay, so this came out originally in March of this year. It's part one, if you will, of my retrospective on films that I actually did watch at the cinema, but the recent films I didn't watch at the cinema, or the films that came out before my channel was here, and as a result I wanted to talk about it because I do feel this film does have a lot of talking points of it. So this is part one, whatever. I've got a few lined up and so forth. So so this is what it is. Okay, so Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice is a sequel to Man of Steel, the Blu-ray and everything. So this is the Dawn of Justice Blu-ray. It's got I've not seen any more of the extras. It's got 2 hours of extra things, as well as the added bits of the makes it Ultimate Edition, which I'll talk about later. As you may or may not be able to see, it's got a digital thing there, a code that you put in somehow. A little thing about Suicide Squad there, which I have seen and reviewed earlier. Incidentally, there will be a extended cut of that film, which we'll get on Blu-ray, and talk about that at a later date. It's all information about things, Batman games and so forth. And in this you've got, I'm guessing that's the regular theatrical cut of the film, and this is the Ultimate Edition. So there we go. So that's what it looks like. Just bear with me a minute. Make it all nice and neat. Just like to say now, it's going to be a spoiler alert, spoiler edition. So I'm going through a lot of the film and talking about certain things. So if you're not seeing the film, you don't want to know too many specifics and whatever. This is going to spoil it for you. Okay, so Batman Superman is directed by Zack Snyder. The stars include Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Amy Adams, Jesse Eisenberg, Jeremy Irons and Scoot McNairy. So the story is because of the aftermath of the events of Man of Steel at the end, the big fight between Superman and the General Zod and all his pals. A large part of Metropolis destroyed and all the fallout and everything. It's Superman is now seen as a very divisive, very controversial figure. This is a viewpoint shared with Bruce Wayne, who sees him as a threat to humanity. And on the other hand, Clark Kent also sees what Batman's doing in Gotham and his own brand of justice, and doesn't agree with how he's doing his thing. So they've both got two opposing sides of how to do things and whatever. We got to 18 months later. There's a bunch of Kryptonite found in the bottom of the Indian Ocean. Lex Luthor finds out about this and he wants it for himself. He wants to weaponize it, use it against the Kryptonians. He sees Superman as a big threat. Obviously concerning the events of Man of Steel and whatever. Also, Bruce Wayne wants to use it, against Superman as well. He wants it for himself, because he sees a potential fight between himself and Superman. Lex Luthor also reveals further plans. He wants to use it with the body of General Zod, and also then play Batman and Superman off against each other. So you've got about 32 minutes added onto the film to create this Ultimate Edition. It's mainly to smooth out or flash out certain characters and subplots, just make things easy to understand, and just make the narrative flow a little easier as you're watching it. So you can say you've got more Jimmy Olsen there, you've got Jenna Malone now, not as Batgirl, and don't panic, they haven't changed Doomsday into a massive lobster or anything. But the problems I had with the theatrical cut still remain. There's just too many characters, there's too many subplots to kind of muddying up the runtime. They did show lots and lots of news footage and news reports to help move the story along a bit, but there's just too much going on. This film was initially going to be Man of Steel 2. Lex Luthor was going to be in some of the shots in Man of Steel with teased with the LexCorp logo in there. Then you found out Batman's going to be involved in some way. Then Wonder Woman. Then Doomsday was in one of the second or third trailer. I mean, more on him later. Then they're going to introduce more characters from Justice League and what have you. And I just felt, from the trailers and, all these people involved, I feared it's going to be end up the same way as, like, say, Spider-Man 3. So then I watched the film. There's things about a Russian gangster in there. There's a subplot with a bullet. Lois Lane is trying to find out the origin of a bullet. And there's Scoot McNairy plays a character who's becomes paralyzed as a result of... Well, he blames Superman for it, so he's got his own little personal crusade going on. There's also a so-called nightmare sequence with, it alludes to Darkseid and, various things involved in that. And it's just all this, etc. And there's some more things as well. And all just that it makes it, there's too much going on. There's a jumble of things happening in this one film. So it all feels like DC are just doing too much, trying to get people up to speed on all the main characters, at least the ones that they're gonna be using in the next few years. Try and catch up with Marvel, who's I've spent several years and several films building people up. So I want characters up. So when I get to the Avengers and Civil War, you're kind of invested in most of the characters in there. So there's not as much kind of exposition trying to get everyone kind of introduced and this is this person, this is that person and so forth. But I do like how this film addresses the situation with the collateral damage at the end of Man of Steel. I mean, I remember as I was watching Man of Steel for the first time, I thought, right, this fight between all the Kryptonians is pretty good for a bit. It just go on for too long and it's destroying too much stuff. I just thought, as I was watching it, maybe Superman, he's been on Earth for a number of years. He's got his parents. He kind of feels accepted and not, all the rest of it. Even though, obviously he's kind of keeping a low profile, but he likes Earth enough, obviously, to stay there. I mean, he could easily find another planet. But what I'm saying is, because of all this, he's like kind of happy there and so on. When these all the Kryptonians come down, they don't care. They're just gonna lay waste to everything. Superman, surely they would have took him into have a fight in the sky, so and damage all the things. So as you get past another backstory, Bruce Wayne, the fate of his parents and whatever, I find it cool. The film did start with Bruce Wayne from ground level as the fight is going on and the carnage happening all over the place as he's driving around, trying to save people and whatever. I think it's a good introduction to Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne. I mean, I personally held judgment when he was cast as Batman because a lot of people pointed to Daredevil from back in the day, but I just feel he's really grown as a filmmaker and actor over the past few years. I mean, I like the idea of an older, world-weary, battle-worn kind of Batman to counterpoint a younger Superman who's he's got his issues and problems and he's trying to deal with the perception people have of him in the world. No matter what he does, he seems to be frustrated by what people are saying about him. Zack Snyder's on record to say that a big influence on the film story is from Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. There's also a lot of story elements taken from Death of Superman. Now, as I've said in one or two of the videos in the past, I've not read tons and tons of comic books. I've read those too though, and I understand the importance and significance of Doomsday, the character, in the death of Superman. So when you watch the second or third trailer, whichever one it was, when you first saw this creature sliding towards the screen, looking all angry and stuff, I just thought, well, it looks kind of familiar, this character. And people online saying, no, don't use Doomsday. And I'm thinking, yes, don't use Doomsday so early on in your story, kind of thing. If you're going to use him, it's going to be different from how he used it in the comics. I mean, he pretty much destroys the Justice League with one hand or something. So, to use him straight away, pretty much in the second film of this expanded universe, it's kind of like, say, Iron Man fighting Thanos or something, in Iron Man 2. And I don't really like how Lex Luthor gains access to the Kryptonian ship and the subsequent creation of Doomsday. With a very helpful exposition from the onboard voice thing, whatever. And Lex must know that's not how babies are made. And there's been a lot of people, talking about Jesse Eisenberg's portrayal of Lex Luthor in this. It wasn't what I expected. How he's going to do it, and it's probably not many other people's. What I would say, he is Lex Luthor's son. He's Lex Luthor Jr. and he's going to be a little different from how Gene Hackman and certainly Kevin Spacey portrayed him. So there's a few more things I have issues with, with this film. I don't want to keep going on about the negativity, about the film, make a big video rant about it. It's not the worst film ever, so I just want to balance things out. So here's some things I do like about the film. Ben Affleck in this film as Bruce Wayne and Batman is really, really good. One of the high points of the film. He's really brutal in some of the scenes. He's scary as heck. He does damage to a lot of people in this film. And he's also, the playboy aspect of Bruce Wayne as well. He's down pretty well. He's a kind of to and fro between him and Alfred is really nice. Jeremy Irons is also really good in this film. He gives Alfred a wit, and he's got a fatherly concern over Bruce Wayne, despite the gentle criticisms he throws his way. And he's also, quite handy, quite, tech savvy and whatever, which is kind of a different take to how Michael Gough and Michael Caine portrayed him. And I like how they use Wonder Woman in this film. When she reveals herself at the end, in the end battle, Gal Gadot plays it really well. And also Diana Prince is used quite a lot in the early, some of the early parts of the film. I'm quite surprised at how much of it she's in. Contrast that with the so-called meta-humans. They introduce Cyborg, Aquaman, and the Flash. Pretty much as email attachments, which I think is a bit shit, really. There's some nice cinematography, there's some good imagery there, there's some of the chase sequences are good, the fight choreography and everything is pretty good, the fight sequences. The whole Batman v Superman actual fight sequence is okay, while it lasted. And some really nice music in there as well, especially like the Wonder Woman theme, when the whole drums, the tribal drums start and all the rest of it. And Hans Zimmer, who also composed the music for Man of Steel, he also carried over the Superman theme, which I really like. I remember the trailer for Man of Steel was in the cinemas, I was watching it, and when you got Jor-El holding baby Kal-El there, the whole music was going on, his theme. It's kind of mirroring what I was going through at the time, the birth of my son and whatever. So the music used for Superman, it kind of resonates with me a lot more than I guess a lot of people. But all in all, Hans Zimmer's done a really good job again. Apart from possibly Jesse Eisenberg, I feel the action is quite strong throughout. But given the fact that the tone of the film is quite dark and gloomy, no one really, apart from Lex Luthor, ironically enough perhaps, is having much fun with the role. Zack Snyder's gone on record to say Justice League is probably going to be lighter in tone, probably as a response to this, and the teaser trailer certainly seems to be that way. So in conclusion, I feel the Ultimate Edition is probably the best version of the film. To be honest, it all comes down to the story though, and I think there's just too much of it going on. Too many characters, too many this, too many that. And it's got that frustrating kind of aspect Spider-Man 3 has. I get DC wants to have a different tone than Marvel, but I feel because of everything going on, certain characters introduced into the film don't have enough time spent on them, so we don't have that emotional involvement. So them's my opinions. What's yours? And yours and yours. Just let me know down below in the comment section. The film, I do believe, has a lot of talking points, good or bad. I don't know the one time of this video I'm making right now. It's a spoiler video, so it'll be longer than usual. So just let me know what your opinions on anything I've said. So as I say, this video is like a kind of a part one in a kind of section of retrospective of films that have to come out this year and what have you. The next one is probably going to be Creed. I'm also going to mix it in with some trauma stuff, some low budget stuff. So the next one of those videos is probably going to will be Toxic Avenger 4. There's a small matter of Halloween on the way, so there's going to be something about that. New releases is going to be Jack Reacher and Doctor Strange, so there's videos on those. Also video games and whatever, so it's all busy. So keep it down there. Like, subscribe, comment, and tell your friends and everything. And in the words of the new Cyrus, send the word.
9, 8, 7, 6,